Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. People are coming together in Prince Albert to find ways to combat gangs. It's part of Prince Albert's Gang Prevention Symposium, which wrapped up its second day this afternoon. Participants include educators, youth workers, and youth. The symposium is designed to inform participants on early intervention and ways to support youth in forming social connections without turning to gang activity. Some of the guest speakers shared their personal experiences with gangs. There were also experts in the field speaking on addressing the issue. Organizer Jolene Fury says when she found out about a similar symposium in North Battleford, she wanted to bring one to Prince Albert.
North Battleford had the same speakers last year in their community, and I was really disappointed that me and my staff didn't go. So then I reached out to them and said, how about you come to my community? I'll organize it, I'll get everything going, you just have to show up, and they were all for it.
The three-day symposium at the Coronet Hotel was coordinated through Family Futures. With the warm temperatures going across Saskatchewan, snow is still on the minds of bus riders because it's piling up, making it hard to access some of the stops. Most roads have been cleared, but there are some transit stops across the city that have snow pushed aside during plowing. That's creating barriers for those who need to board buses. The city says it's working to clear the known problem, but riders say the issue is still widespread. Posts on social media this month have gotten a lot of reaction online.
It's more than just a few areas. That's it. Somebody posted and said, well, when I first posted the stop here on Lorne Avenue, and somebody said, well, that's what most of the stops look like in the city, you know. There's I think about 1,500 bus stops. So it's a big job.
Clipperton says clearer communication between the city, transit, and snow clearing crews is required. Nutrien has renewed its partnership with STARS, adding $4 million in new funding for the air ambulance network.
I'd be here today without them. Thanks, Ian.
Brings Nutrien's total contributions to more than $30 million over more than a decade. Nutrien's initial contribution helped establish a STARS base in Saskatoon with 921 missions flown last year and more than 10,000 since 2012. STARS says this contribution helps the organization be there for the people of this province when they need critical care.
We are one link in the chain of survival, but we're an important link. And it is very important to be recognized with support from our partners, both in industry and individuals and in government, because it truly saves lives.
STARS operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from bases in Calgary, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Saskatoon, Regina, and Winnipeg. Emergency crews were called to a semi-rollover last night near Kindersley that left a mess along the highway. This was the scene east of the community at about 9:30 last night. The semi tipped onto its side, forcing the lumber it was carrying to spill. Traffic was detoured while crews worked at the scene. Paramedics assessed the driver. RCMP say the driver of the semi suffered minor injuries. There's no word on what contributed to the crash. A Métis Nation Saskatchewan elected representative is facing backlash as vulgar and threatening voicemails circulate on social media.
You're you will never, ever, ever get help from the Métis Nation as long as I'm around.
That's one of the many voicemails believed to be from MNS elected representative Brent Dignes, according to multiple family members. Dignes later confirmed on Facebook that he left the messages himself. MNS says Dignes has been removed from his ministerial roles and that the matter's been referred to the government's ethics committee. His brother Clinton Dignes, who says he received some of the volatile voicemails himself, says he fears for his safety.
It's very disturbing and it's upsetting for me, and you know, I definitely don't feel safe.
Brent Dignes later posted an apology on Facebook saying the language he used was inappropriate and unacceptable. Wind has been the word of the day in much of Saskatchewan. A wind warning has been in effect for most of the province today, with gusts expected to reach up to 100 kilometers an hour. Environment Canada warned people to be careful on the roads, especially if driving a high-sided vehicle. The wind is expected to ease slightly overnight but pick back up tomorrow, with gusts expected to reach between 50 to 70 kilometers at times. And with the wind comes cooler temperatures in the coming days, dipping back down to the minus single and then double digits. Well, there you go, Jeff. Look what the wind blew in. It blew in our regular weather guy to bring us some kind of information on what's blowing across the prairies.
Well, there's a big high that's anchored off of this sort of big high-pressure ridge, and so the storm track moves up along Canada's west coast and arches over, and it's really sort of plunging down on top of us, a cold front going through. But all of this, we've got strong winds and cooling temperatures. Now, temperatures aren't going to be crazy cold. By that, I mean they're not going to be substantially below seasonal, but we are getting back to more seasonal-like temperatures, but we'll have a little up and down there, and we're going to talk about that later on in the broadcast.
A man arrested by Edmonton police accused of making threats against the Jewish community is now living in Saskatoon. Last month, Edmonton police received a tip about threatening social media posts from the Niagara Regional Police Service in Ontario. The investigation determined the threats against Jewish people originated from Edmonton. As a result, 31-year-old Amjad Jaradat was charged with uttering threats. He was released on several conditions, which include not being within 100 meters of a Jewish place of worship, community center, or event. He's also not allowed to have guns or other weapons and cannot have electronic devices that connect to the internet unless it's for work, and is not allowed to post on social media. A Saskatoon resident has been charged under provincial legislation for providing immigration or recruitment services without a license. Jun Su is facing the charge under the Immigration Services Act. The province says it was laid in connection to an offence that happened between January and June of last year in Saskatoon. The legislation cracking down on people who provide immigration or recruitment services without a license replaced a previous act in 2024, with this being the first charge to be laid under the new regulations. The province says violators face the highest fines for offence in the country, with legislation designed to protect immigrants and foreign workers in Saskatchewan. The province is creating a new commercial license category for drone-based pest control application. The changes also include one-year license terms for all license types and insurance requirements to ensure drone-based operators have coverage for pesticide drift liability. Rules also now require record-keeping GPS data on where flights are spraying. Additionally, Sask Polytech will be launching a drone pesticide applicator course starting later this year. 7 pesticides and 1 fungicide are approved for drone-based distribution right now by the federal government. Farmers are exempt from the commercial requirements when applying pesticide on their own land, but do need to follow all other federal rules and product label restrictions. As grocery prices and cost of living concerns continue to rise, people in Manitoba will be getting a little relief. The province is freezing the price of a litre of milk for the whole year. Premier Wab Kinew says the freeze will keep prices affordable for consumers while ensuring producers receive fair compensation. The province is now considering extending the price control to larger containers of milk. When we come back, a celebration of reading at the Gateway Mall. Jasmine Pelche learns about Family Literacy Day coming up next weekend.
Family Literacy Day is coming up here in Prince Albert. We're talking to the Family Literacy Network to find out information on what's going to be happening in and around the city to make a note of that day or celebrate family literacy. So what are some of the things coming up that people might want to be aware of?
So Family Literacy Day is celebrated across Canada every year, January 27th. So you'll find different events happening throughout the city and in the area. Some schools are doing family literacy nights. We here at the Prince Albert Literacy Network are doing a major event on the January 24th, which is the Saturday, from 11 to 2, and it's a free family event where families can come, hang out. We have a bunch of great activities. We've coordinated with 5 or 6 different organizations throughout the city to come and just celebrate families coming together, learning together, and having a great day.
Is everything going to be in one location?
Our event here in Prince Albert is in the Gateway Mall. from 11 to 2. And we'll start at one end of the mall doing some great activities. There's going to be a story walk throughout the mall. And then at the other end, there's going to be free snacks and a bunch of other things to do.
What is a story walk?
So a story walk is a book made bigger, placed throughout a space. So one page, and then you walk to the next page, and then you go to the next page. And by the time you get to the end, you've read the whole story.
The activities are going to be for what sort of reading levels in terms of kids' reading levels?
So family literacy is about families learning together. We work to try to do around 0 to 8, but lots of our older friends can participate in the events as well. This year's theme is making mealtime family learning time. So whether it's going to the grocery store and shopping together, maybe it's going and planting a garden and growing your own food. We have activities here that have to do with Play-Doh and using knives and forks for our younger friends, measuring, so we're going to be making a homemade trail mix. So it's everything to do with how we learn together and cook together, and how that can be such a great event for families.
How did you decide on going that direction with the theme this year?
So the theme is developed through ABC Life Literacy. So that's an organization across Canada that tries to celebrate literacy and support the growth of literacy within Canada. So every year they pick a theme, and this year it was that theme. So we went with it.
How popular is this day usually at the Gateway Mall?
We typically see around 65 families coming out and hanging out with us. There's lots of great things to do. The Family Resource Center is here in the space as well. Kids First is here. So there's lots of really great things and opportunities for families. And we can see families hanging out upwards of 45 minutes. And what is amazing is that it's all free. So it's a great day to come hang out.
I'm trying to do the math in my head. Is that about 150 to 200 people, or... I'm just trying to visualize it, but I mean, like, the kids are so small, they take up less space.
Right.
So it's probably harder to...
Well, and part of it is that we do have a section in the mall, and the mall has been a great support to us. One of the empty spaces. So there's activities happening in one space. There's the story walk going through the mall. There's a pop-in at the resource center. There's the table that the Kids First puts together. And then we end at another location at the other end of the mall. So it seems like a lot of people, but then it doesn't when everything is flowing and people come and go as they please. So some might show up at 11, some might come at 1. So it just kind of goes throughout the moment. So yeah.
What would you say to encourage families to visit the Family Literacy Day event?
So the event itself is free, and you get to have some snacks. Everybody's going home with a bunch of great activities. I know we're the Early Childhood Intervention Program's giving away Play-Doh. They're going to get the trail mix. Kids First is giving away a home chili kit. We're giving away books and all kinds of other stuff. So there's lots of stuff to gather as you go to take home with you. And at the end of the day, it's really about just encouraging ongoing hanging out, learning together, maybe putting our phones down while we're eating supper and having a conversation instead.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of things to look forward to. Thank you for having me out here.
We'll take a look at weather with Jeff after the break, plus part 3 of Pauline Chan's series on medical tourism. All right, Jeff, we're in Saskatchewan, so I don't think we can be surprised by a little bit of wind, but I think we're a little surprised by the milding and kind of the easing back into those winter temperatures.
Yeah, we really had a mild stretch. This January thaw has been, about a week long. And look, a lot of people are enjoying the temperatures, maybe not necessarily the slippery roads in some cases and the sloppy conditions, but mild temperatures, people have been outdoors. But if you were outside today, it's wicked windy. Down south in Moose Jaw, a peak wind of 100 kilometers an hour. In Prince Albert, peak winds of 90 and 96 kilometers. So, it's windy right across the province. And so we shouldn't be surprised about that either. But as I mentioned earlier on, there's a big high pressure ridge in place. And so the storm track tends to move this way, and then it comes slamming down on top of us. And that's what's going on right now. So we're still feeling the effects of that. And temperatures are going to cool off tomorrow, but kind of seasonal when it all is said and done. So I'll step out of the way and we'll take a look at the futurecast. And as you can see, those pressure lines are staying pretty tight together. They start to gap starting late afternoon tomorrow. But other than that, we are looking at a windy overnight into the early morning hours, and then slowly easing off wind-wise in the afternoon, and also easing off in terms of any kind of active weather. But there is a second round coming, and we'll talk about that later on. Minus 15 degrees for Spiritwood, minus 12 for the Battlefords with a little light snow tonight, but that's diminishing as we go along. The snow tapering off along with the strong winds. Minus 16, the expected overnight temperature in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, Rostern, and Melfort. Minus 15, the overnight temperature in Nipawin. Then we move on to Friday. Well, Friday, back to more seasonal values. In fact, in some locations, a little bit below seasonal. Minus 14 in Spiritwood, minus 11 in the Battlefords. Windy conditions will prevail again. Now, we're talking about wind gusts in and around that 40 kilometer, or rather, wind gusts up around 60 kilometer an hour. Sustained winds at 40 clicks. But as we ease into the afternoon, things will start to die down. We've got ourselves but right for now, we'll just point out the fact that it's going to be a windy day in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, Rostern, Melfort, and Nipawin, and all these locations basically dealing with temperatures in and around that minus 14 degree mark. So on to Prince Albert for some specific information. So a 60% chance of flurries. The flurries will drop off tonight, and the winds are going to be staying fairly strong. And even though the snow, the active snow, will stop falling, we've got enough snow on the ground from this new snow that it could be blowing around. So there could be some visibility issues. Keep that in mind. Minus 16 for the overnight temperature. Not much of a warm up tomorrow. Minus 14 degrees, so just a little bit below seasonal, and windy in the morning and starting to drop off in the afternoon. Now on to the 7-day forecast for the Gateway City. As you can see, minus 7 degrees, so getting mild again on Saturday. But then back into the cooler temperatures, minus 18 on Sunday. Monday to start the work week, minus 14 degrees, but back to above seasonal temperatures on Tuesday, cloudy and minus 9, minus 12 on Wednesday, and then a somewhat chilly minus 18 degrees on Thursday. So 1 week from today, it's cool again.
And you know what? There are people who move away and they decide, I want to come back to Saskatchewan. And I mean, I guess for the weather too, sometimes.
Some people love it. Some people do.
Yeah, there you go. Well, speaking of that, one of the all-time great Saskatoon Blades is back in the Bridge City. Nolan Meyer, who set the all-time Western Hockey League wins record during his final season with the Blades 4 years ago, has returned to play for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. After leaving the Blades in 2022, Meyer spent the last 4 years playing professional hockey. But after returning home to Yorkton for Christmas, a text from Huskies coach Brandon Cote helped Meyer commit to moving back and joining the Huskies, where many familiar faces and former teammates have helped Meyer feel at home once again.
Saskatoon's a second home for me, and lots of the guys in that room have been family with. It's been through Saskatoon with the Blades there, and it's just been really awesome to reconnect and see a lot of old faces and just kind of hang out again in the city that I love.
The Huskies are in Calgary this weekend, taking on Mount Royal University. In part 3 of our series on medical tourism, Pauline Chan looks at how insurance and legal liability may not protect patients as much as they think.
When Nicole Grigorov set out for her mummy makeover in Costa Rica last fall, she thought she had insurance. But when she developed sepsis and nearly died, she found out she wasn't covered.
Actually, I have 2 forms of insurance, which I thought were suffice. I have the travel medical insurance, and I also have insurance on one of my credit cards. And one of them is critical illness and disability, so I'm arguing with them right now.
I get calls from time to time from people asking that exact question, and I explain to them absolutely not. And other scenarios too, like heart or cancer or anything out of the country that you are going to, knowingly that there will be a surgery or a treatment, is absolutely not covered by an insurance company.
The Ontario Health Ministry says some forms of cosmetic surgery are actually covered by OHIP, saying OHIP would provide payment for out-of-country cosmetic procedures should they meet specific requirements as outlined in Regulation 522 of the Health Insurance Act, adding, under which surgery for alteration of appearance may be a benefit. Some examples include repair for trauma scars, removal of large benign lesions, post-mastectomy breast reconstruction, etc. But not the kind of cosmetic surgery Nicole had. Patient M recently went to Turkey for several procedures, including dental work, hair transplant, and a tummy tuck, knowing insurance would not cover any mishaps. On his flight back, he developed fluid buildup in his abdomen. It took 3 procedures over 2 weeks to clear it. But despite the complications, he's happy, saying the estimated cost savings compared to having the same procedures done in Canada were significant, likely close to $60,000 to $75,000 for all the procedures. Both M and Nicole say mishaps do happen, even in Canada. Nicole looked into suing the Costa Rican clinic, but was told the time and expense for an overseas case would not be worth it. The clinic promised a refund of the $20,000 she spent on the surgery, but she has yet to see a cent. The loss of her fingers and toes would make running her resort business up north too difficult, so she's planning to sell it. And her family has set up a GoFundMe to help with expenses in the meantime.
I try to do some of my makeup and my hair with my niece, but, you know, I'm trying to do things for myself, but it's going to definitely be a forever process.
Grigorov says looking back at her ordeal, the cosmetic surgery seemed so unnecessary now, but she wants to tell her story to make sure others are informed.
Any surgery is a risk, and I really didn't have to have a mummy makeover, and I know that. I just wanted to look better and feel better about myself. I'm 50.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
All right, Jeff, I'm not exactly a big-time car guy, but I know a little bit about it. But how about you? Are you a car guy?
You know, I like cars, but I'm not mechanically inclined, no.
All right, well, perfect. Well, if you don't know the difference, like me or you, between front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive...
I know what those ones are.
...and all-wheel drive, this video's for you. There you go. So now it makes sense. This worker at a Honda dealership thought it would be fun to demonstrate the different car modes that to her co-workers. And of course, she didn't even need to use props to get the message across. And if you're looking at this, which one's probably the best in our Saskatchewan winters?
You know, it's all-wheel drive.
There you go.
You know, you got to have some clearance there.
The rear-wheel drive is at least funny. It kind of reminds me of like a kid that's had enough and is just kind of pouting to mom or dad and walking with their face in the dirt.
Boo-hoo-hoo.
National news is next.